Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome in and welcome back, man. We got us a new video today, y'all, man. Look, I know y'all happy for this and everything. We're gonna get this shit started off on the right foot, you hear me? Let's go ahead and get her done.
It's the internet regularly will know that it isn't always sunshine and rainbows. Newsflash, the internet is super weird sometimes. Some things just can't be easily explained, and coming up are some of the strangest mysteries that will send you down the rabbit hole. Finn's Gold. This story has all the makings of a classic treasure hunt, except no one has ever completed this quest alive, and probably never will. It all begins with this guy, Forrest Fenn. Fenn is an eccentric 87-year-old multi-millionaire who made his fortune collecting mostly Native American artifacts as if they're from some mystical ancient civilization and not real-life people whose stuff was stolen. But I digress. In 1988, then 58-year-old Fenn was diagnosed with terminal kidney cancer and told he only had 3 years to live. Instead of, donating some of the artifacts to museums, Fenn gathered up over $1 million worth of his prized possessions, including chunks of gold as big as chicken eggs, stuck them in a bronze treasure chest, and planned to bury it somewhere in the wilderness to be found after he was long gone. In an unexpected twist of fate, Fenn managed to beat the cancer by 1993, and the plan was put on hold until his 80th birthday. On that day, 17 years later, he took the 40-pound, 10 by 10-inch chest somewhere into the Rocky Mountains and buried it at a height of some 5,000 feet. Of course, a good scavenger hunt is nothing without clues, so his next move was to write a mysterious 24-line poem which allegedly contained all the information needed to track down the treasure. The poem was released with his self-published memoir, The Thrill of the Chase, and once word had spread through the internet, the hunt was on. The ensuing search for Finn's Gold hasn't only been nigh on impossible, it's also proved deadly. What started as one old man's ploy to tempt people away from their electronic devices and into the great outdoors became a worldwide race to find Willy Wonka's golden ticket. Blogs, message boards, forums, and even a YouTube show dedicated to solving the mystery quickly cropped up online. What seemed like a bit of fun for armchair detectives and outdoor adventurers gained a dark reputation in January 2016 when 54-year-old Randy Bilyeu went missing while searching for the treasure and was discovered dead on the banks of the Cochiti Lake in New Mexico 6 months later. In total, 5 hopeful explorers have now lost their lives on the perilous quest to recover Finn's Gold. Despite all this, Fenn has refused to call off the hunt, even ignoring the advice of New Mexico's police chief who highlighted the potential dangers it posed. To this date, the buried treasure remains, buried. Although Fenn claims that some explorers have come within 200 feet, no one has actually ever laid eyes on the bounty. In fact, there's no evidence that the 80-year-old man hiked up the mountain with the chest on his back in the first place. And yet, with each new death, the stakes only grow higher. For all we know, Finn's Gold is just the world's most elaborate wild goose chase. but that isn't going to stop people from searching for it. Jesus in the Land of Ta. Let's move away from tragic deaths for now and focus instead on a neat little mystery that somehow tapped into the internet's collective consciousness. Jesus in the Land of Ta. The story begins on June 21st, 2017, when comedian Nate Fernald posted a picture of this pen on Twitter. Apparently, Fernald collects loads of vintage pens, but this one caught his eye. Although the character wasn't particularly interesting or well known, the strange shaggy creature still seemed eerily familiar. At the time, plugging Jesus-related keywords into Google turned up virtually no search results, so perhaps the pen was just some quirky anomaly. Strangely enough though, Fernald was able to source more identical pens on eBay, and before he knew it, he'd amassed quite a collection of the peculiar little fellas. Surely this proved that Jesus was a character worth mass-producing rather than just some random one-off, but there was one hitch. None of the sellers could tell Fernald where Jesus came from. After expressing his frustrations on Twitter, it seemed Fernald had once again reached a dead end. Then on August 1st, someone replied to Fernald's tweet with another Jesus-related item. A sticker sheet. This time there were a whole host of characters, not just Jesus, along with the generic name, the Land of Ta. Soon, 2 more sticker sheets had turned up online, one showing the women of Ta, where push-up bras seemed to be mandatory, and another featuring a group of barbarians and monsters. Surely this was enough evidence to suggest that the Land of Ta was some forgotten 80s franchise. Whether it was a cartoon, a video game, a board game, or a book series, Jesus had to have come from somewhere, right? Wrong. Google Trend Analysis even shows that there was no search interest in either Jesus or the Land of Ta before Fernald's original tweet. Weird. Of course, people all over the internet soon joined in. They remembered Jesus too. They weren't just sure where from. Was this a classic case of the Mandela effect? Had the internet been collectively duped into remembering a totally made-up franchise? And most importantly, what was Jesus? Despite 3 years of internet sleuthing, no one can be 100% sure what the Land of Ta was, or even if it existed outside of this limited merchandise. Here's what we do know. The sticker sheets were made by the adhesive label company Denison, which had since become Avery Dennison, and has offered no real insight into the origin of the stickers. However, Denison doesn't make pens, which means the Jesus pen was produced by another company. This would have cost way more than the stickers to make, so why bother doing it if the design didn't relate to something with fans who actually wanted it? Jesus is also the only character to have been turned into a pen, which suggests he had some larger role to play. But he isn't even central on the sticker sheet. Ultimately, it seems like there are more questions than answers with this puzzling internet mystery. The main one being, do you remember Jesus? Kate Yup. Kate Yup is a YouTuber who joined the platform in 2018 and gained a following by posting regular mukbang videos where she devours huge amounts of raw seafood on camera. Except no one really knows who Kate Yup is. Even her profile picture is just a random stock image. Okay, she values her privacy. So what? According to online super sleuths, there might be something more sinister at work here, and it's enough to send shivers down your spine. Even before Kate Yup found herself at the center of the internet's hottest conspiracy, some might say her content raised a few red flags. Firstly, Yup never speaks in her videos. In fact, the sound of her chewing is the only thing you'll ever hear, which isn't everyone's cup of tea. Secondly, we never see her whole face, and she seems to wear some sort of eye mask in every video. So she has her quirks, but these aren't the only things that raise suspicions. On 21st of June in 2019, Yup uploaded a video where you can see visible bruises on her arm and a cut on her lip, which weren't there before. In the same video, Yup starts randomly tapping the rim of the bowl she's eating from, which online detectives quickly interpreted as Morse code and translated to mean, "I need help." There was only one logical explanation. Kate Yup was being held against her will, starved, and then forced to eat obscene amounts of food for clicks. It sounds ridiculous, I know. But the clues collected by people who were genuinely concerned for this woman's safety started to stack up pretty fast. As Yup's videos gained more attention and #SaveKateYup spread online, thousands of armchair detectives put their own 2 pence in about her potentially dangerous situation. Although Yup supposedly films alone, viewers claim that there was always someone in the room with her in her videos. At one point, after Yup starts eating unusually fast, the table moves as if someone had kicked it, while in other videos people said they could hear someone instructing her off camera to just eat. Hurry up. or eat faster. Though Kate herself never speaks in the videos, she does include on-screen captions, but these only stoke the fires of conspiracy further. Take a look at the way she randomly capitalizes letters in this caption. Is it just coincidence that the initials read SOS? Surely it was time for Kate Yup to respond to the allegations. And she did, just not how people expected. In a pinned comment, Yup denied the claims about Morse code and the whole captive theory, but eagle-eyed viewers were still not convinced. Many pointed out that the comment had clearly been copied from somewhere else. The entire thing was even written in the third person. 2 months later, Kate Yup uploaded another video which she titled, "I Am Alive." You know, as if things weren't already creepy enough. Despite including various captions throughout the video, she capitalized just 4 individual letters. Letters that just so happened to spell out help. This is where things get real weird. Enter missing 16-year-old girl Carly Goose. This California teen mysteriously disappeared in the early morning of Saturday 13th, October 2018, and has not been seen since. What does this have to do with Kate Yup? Well, internet detectives drew some uncanny connections between the two by focusing on Yup's physical features, mostly her chin, nose, and smile, which seem eerily similar to those belonging to Carly Goose. This plays perfectly into the whole being held captive theory, but there's one hole in the theory. Kate Yup posted her first video some 6 months before Goose disappeared. On November 10th, 2019, Yup uploaded her final video to date. Midway through eating, she loses a tooth and carries on as if nothing happens. There's not even any blood. This led some to speculate that Yup suffers from bulimia, which would explain why her teeth are rotting due to constant vomiting. Towards the end of the video, she includes a caption which reads, "I can die in peace after this bite." And just like that, Kate Yup vanished from YouTube. At least for now. What do you think? Is this a classic case of internet hysteria, or is Kate Yup really hiding something more sinister? WebDriver Torso. Finally, let's look at another YouTube channel which sparked a mystery that left internet users scratching their heads. WebDriver Torso. Despite its ominous name, the content of this channel is not nearly as threatening as it sounds. In fact, every video is pretty much the same. Some variation of red and blue blocks flashing across a white background accompanied by random beeping noises. Hardly the most thrilling content. The channel first got going in 2013 and quickly amassed over 80,000 of these cryptic clips. The strangest thing was how frequently they were uploaded, with some being posted within 20 seconds of each other. While most are around 11 seconds long, my personal favorite, the pièce de résistance, is 25 solid minutes of pure unadulterated weirdness. As web citizens caught wind of the strange goings-on at WebDriver Torso, the race was on to find out who or what was behind the channel, and why they had so much time on their hands. Initial theories were about as far-flung as they get. This is the internet after all. As people suggested the videos were an elaborate advertising campaign, encoded spy messages, or proof that extraterrestrials were trying to communicate. The truth, unfortunately, is more mundane than you could imagine. Although efforts to track down the channel's creator were unsuccessful, New York-based software tester Esau Vargas happened to spot one of the videos online and recognized them from an automation conference he had attended a year before. In the presentation, the British firm YouView had explained that they needed to quickly and reliably upload digital video, which they tested by uploading short, randomly generated snippets online. But there's a twist. WebDriver Torso did not belong to YouView. As the infuriating web phenomenon captured the internet's collective imagination, people started noticing strange anomalies on the channel. Like this random Eiffel Tower video which stuck out like a sore thumb. Then came the biggest clue that something more was afoot. Committed viewers noticed that the video titled TMP RKRL85 takes a rather unexpected turn. Everyone with a dial-up connection would recognize those as the unmistakable dance moves of Rick Astley himself. That's right, WebDriver Torso had just rickrolled the entire internet. And if that isn't the 21st century equivalent of laying down the gauntlet, I don't know what is. Italian blogger Saggetto Ventuno deserves a medal for his work in cracking the puzzle. Through some serious internet sleuthing, Ventuno discovered that the channel belonged to a network of accounts called YT Upload Test Partner _ Torso. A Google Plus account associated with this network then led Ventuno to a linked Facebook page belonging to a Google employee named Matej Gruber, who just so happens to be mentioned in the comments of the Eiffel Tower clip. Suddenly, the game was up. and Google released a statement confirming that WebDriver Torso was nothing but a channel they used to keep tabs on upload quality. No aliens, no CIA conspiracy, just Google having a laugh with the internet over a totally accidental mystery. Touché, Google. Do you know about any more internet mysteries I should check out? Let me know in the comments below, and thanks for watching.
I used to love going camping as a kid, but it's not all toasted marshmallows and bedtime stories. Some people have had far more sinister experiences.
What the hell was
From
that?
haunting footage of supposed skinwalkers to a disturbing visit from a ghostly child.
I'd have been gone.
Here are some of the most terrifying camping encounters
I'm outta there,
that are
man.
sure to give you chills.
Like, I would definitely have been
Caught in the
by
act.
my nose.
Even if I was in the best shape of my life, you wouldn't catch me hiking. I've heard far too many horror stories. Take Reddit user Hell's Banshee. Back in 2017, she'd gone for a long day of hiking and wildlife watching with her dog in Saskatchewan, Western Canada. When the light was starting to fade, she set a night vision trail camera up outside her tent and hit the hay. But Banshee's well-earned slumber was disturbed in the middle of the night by the sound of her dog growling. There was some kind of rustling coming from outside their tent. Writing it off as some particularly loud foxes, Banshee managed to get back to sleep. The next day came and she crawled out of bed eager to check her cam footage from the night before. The excitement soon turned to fear. Rather than foxes, she saw this. What looks like 3 humanoid figures had begun rummaging around near her tent. Only their heads seemed to be oddly long, and Banshee guessed they must have been as tall as her hip. So what gives? Were they goblins? Gnomes? Demons? Well, none of them seemed particularly likely, but with the nearest town being 45 minutes away, it seems less likely that it was just some kids going on a midnight berry hunt. I don't know, something about this image sends shivers up my spine. If it was people, what the heck were they doing? And if it wasn't, well, I'd rather not think about it.
What y'all think? What y'all think that was? I mean, we could see him right here. I mean, I don't know. That's pretty scary, if you ask me. You know what I mean? If you ask me about it, I mean, I think that's pretty scary. Though, your dog's barking, and you hear rustling outside, and this lady was like, "Huh, it ain't none. I'm gonna go back to sleep." Like, fam, you need to get up and check this shit out, man. Like, what's going on with this? I'm hearing rustling noises out here. I don't want to hear none of that. Not while I'm camping, man. Like, fam, I'm not trying to hear none of that while I'm camping, my dude. Like, bro, I'm trying to sleep, and I'm trying to sleep in peace. I don't want to wake up and, you know, whatever this is out there, like, you know, berry hunting or whatever it is. Like, I'm cool, fam. I'm good, fam.
Santa crazy.
I try to experience
Christmas
that one.
is my favorite time of year, but if I'd had the utterly bone-chilling experience Reddit user Jammin had at the age of just 5, I'd think it very differently. During the holiday period, Jammin had gone camping in the Aussie bush with friends and family. There were 9 kids in total, and their parents had given them walkie-talkies so they could wander off a little as long as they came back when they were told. Only it wouldn't be mom or dad that contacted them that night. While exploring the maze of densely packed trees, there was a sudden
Nope. I'm gone. Fam, I'm gone. I'm like, bro, I'm out of there. Like, you ain't about to keep me here. You ain't about to keep me here. Like, bro, I hear rustling. It's nighttime. We kids, my parents ain't even here. Like, fam, I don't know what's in there, but I'm gone. Like, I'm not finna hang around to see what this wrestling thing is that's going on in this bush, man.
Burst of static, and Jammin's walkie-talkie came to life. A strange voice.
Not wrestling noise, but the static on my microphone, like, I'm gone, man. Like, bro, I'm dropping the radio. I don't even want to talk. Like, I'm not gonna lie, that shit is scared. That scared me, man. Like, I know y'all would be scared. Like, bro, you just walking in the woods, nighttime, and all of a sudden your walkie-talkie just starts talking to you and stuff. Like, fam.
Voice crackled out 3 sinister words.
It's me, Santa.
The spooky voice told the kids that he was there to give them their presents and said they should come further into the darkness of the woods to find him. Luckily, the oblivious kids were so excited at the idea of talking to Santa that they ran back to their parents to tell them the good news. Of course, it wasn't really good news at all. Horrified by what they were told, the kids' parents confiscated the walkie-talkies and forbade the children from going off unattended for the rest of the campout. They were bummed at first, but they came around in the end, because whoever had spoken to them through their walkie-talkie that night definitely wasn't Santa.
So y'all, what would y'all have done in that situation right there? Like, would y'all went further into the woods and tried to see whomever this Santa was that was microphoning you? I mean, calling you on your Walkman, or were y'all gonna do like these smart kids here did and turn around and go back, to your parents and stuff, and be like, let them know. I don't think these kids intentionally did it. Maybe they did. Maybe they were just so excited they would wanted to go back and get mom and dad to bring mom and dad with to go find them, and mom and dad was just smart enough to be like, yeah, no, you're not going back there. You're cut off.
The Crawling Whisperer. If you hadn't got the idea yet, wandering off into the woods is expected. They force their way through. But when you're a kid,
really, man, the Wandering Whisperer. Okay.
Your sense of danger isn't properly developed yet. Something Reddit user KMIA Official can attest to. When he was around 14 years old, he went camping with his family and some friends at a state park. Every night, he'd head out into the woods with a pal to explore. They'd bring flashlights, but preferred to try to navigate in the dark. Only one night, they got much more than they bargained for. See, KMI and his friend opted to walk a little further out than usual. Everything was going fine until they heard something unsettling behind them.
Oh, man.
A faint...
Bro. Holy shit. I'm in my bedroom and I wanted to run when I heard that shit, man. God, that... Why? Like, if I hear that behind me, I'm gone like the wind. No, man.
Whispering. The pair swung around in horror and scrambled to turn on their lights, but the beams pierced through the darkness and revealed nothing. Maybe their minds were just playing tricks on them? Not wanting to imagine the alternative, they continued on their way, but it wasn't long until they heard it again, a low, sinister whispering. Again, they spun around with their flashlights, and again, they saw nothing. Well and truly creeped out, they turned to begin a mad dash back to the safety of the campground and stopped dead in their tracks. Crawling inhumanly along the forest floor was a horrific monster. KMI went to scream, but then his eyes adjusted and realized it wasn't a monster at all. A grown woman was crawling around, whispering to herself on the ground before them. That might be even creepier.
Bro, yo, get the... Oh my god. What? So there's this grown woman just walking around, and she's like, I mean, not walking around, I'm sorry. These two kids seen this grown woman crawling around on the forest ground, in the forest, the middle of the forest. Now they're in the middle of the forest, and they see this grown woman, crawling around on the forest floor. All right, whispering to herself. What will you do? Are you running? Are you gonna be like, stop to try to talk? Like, fam, I'm gone. I'm out of here. Like, I don't know about you, homie, but I'm dipsetting, yo. I'm getting it. Like, bro, that's creepy. Like, look at his face, man. Look at his face. That's creepy, yo. That's creepy as hell.
The eerie figure was clad in dark clothes and covered in dirt. Neither KMI nor his friend could move. Then the woman locked eyes with KMI, slowly stood up and spoke.
Crawling up behind me.
Turns out she was just super drunk and had fallen over and lost her way. Jeez. Being the model citizens they are, the pair of friends helped her back to camp. They lucked out that time, but memory of it still haunts them today.
Oh my goodness.
The black-eyed child. Back in 2022, British tabloids reported on a story so horrifying it made me never want to leave the house again. You'd better buckle up. A teenage couple, who chose to stay anonymous, were camping in Cannock Chase Forest, Staffordshire. On the face of it, the forest appears to be a beautiful slice of English wilderness, but its vast expanse harbors a dark secret. See, Cannock Chase is a known paranormal hotspot. Bigfoot, UFOs, werewolves, you name it, somebody's seen it there. Something the two teenagers were about to realize. At about midnight, the couple heard something moving around outside of the tent. Assuming it was a deer, they stayed quiet, not wanting to spook it. That changed when they realized the sound was human footsteps. Hesitantly, they reached over and unzipped the tent to peer out. Suddenly, the footsteps stopped and were replaced by something much worse. An eerie, childlike laugh.
Oh, man.
Oh, man. Holding their breath, the couple shone a flashlight into the gloom and had to choke back a scream. Something was darting between the trees around them. It looked like a small girl, but its movements were far too fast.
Fam. I'm sorry, I had to just take a minute to kind of gather my thoughts there. I probably would have shitted myself. I'm not gonna even lie to y'all. Yeah, I did say that. I probably would have. I mean, what would you have done? I mean, surely you're not going to be able to hold your bowels in while this creature of somewhat, just between bush to bush. And come on, man, that's extraordinary speed.
And erratic. As they stared in terror, the figure suddenly stepped out into the clearing. And then the horror really hit. Instead of eyes, the girl had two black circles where they should have been. The giggling grew louder and louder, as if it was coming from all around them. Then the child ran off into the shadows as quickly as it had appeared, plunging the woods into silence again. The petrified couple huddled together in their tent, unable to sleep until daybreak. When they finally emerged, they noticed strange piles of stones around their tent and odd stick structures hanging from nearby trees. Safe to say, they ran and didn't look back. And this spine-tingling encounter is far from the only one of its kind in those spooky woods. The black-eyed children of Cannock Chase is such a prolific legend that books have been written on the subject. A number of children went missing in the area back in the 1960s, and some say they became restless spirits, doomed to haunt the woods forever. As for why they have black eyes, beats me. All I know is I'm never going to Cannock Chase Forest.
Are y'all going to Cannock Chase Forest? Keep it real. Some of y'all going. Keep it real. Keep it real. I know there's at least a handful of y'all that finna go out there. There always is. I'm not going out there, man. I don't care what you say is out there. I'm not going. You can't even pay me enough money to go. Well, okay, maybe you could. Maybe you could. Okay. Maybe if the price is right, I'll go. I think maybe so. I'd probably die of a heart attack, or I might die of fright. Shit. I might die because I got scared of shit. But if you paid me well enough, at least my family would be paid. So, hey, take one for the team.
Scream. If there's one thing I've learned from horror movies, it's that summer camp is never a good idea. Reddit user The Flying Cheese obviously didn't get that memo, though. She worked at a campsite way out in the woods of Southern California. One night, Cheese was putting her group of kids to bed when her friend Sadie suddenly came sprinting towards her, petrified, followed by her entire cabin of campers. Apparently, Sadie had taken her group on a night hike when they'd heard what sounded like a small child yelling.
See, that's what be getting y'all messed up, man. Y'all won't be taking these little hikes at night and everything through. Like, come on, man. Look, when nighttime come, you need to stay your little asses inside your tent. Nobody needs to be out there hiking around at 10, 11, 12. Surely not no 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, man. Camping is as far as I'm going to spending the night inside of in the woods. Okay, when I go camping, yes. I love to camp. Don't get me wrong. That's as far into the woods, or I shouldn't say into the woods, but that's as far as I'm going. I'm not hiking at nighttime. I'm staying my ass right at my camp, and I make sure that campfire's nice and bright. And I'm making sure that I have a light bar lighting shit up too. You know what I mean?
For help. At least it started out sounding that way. The scream repeated over and over. As it did, it became increasingly distorted. Eventually, it no longer resembled anything human at all. Understandably, Sadie and her group had bolted. After hearing what Sadie had to say, Cheese reluctantly agreed to head out and investigate. So, they both set off into the woods, and it wasn't long before they heard it. A horrid, demonic cry.
Fam, why the hell did both these girls leave the freaking kids back at camp and take off into the woods looking for the shit? Like, what is, oh my goodness, this can't be real. It can't be. It can't be. This can't be real. Like, look at my face. Like, you seriously left the kids at camp and was like, all right, you and me, we finna go tackle this, because it was me and like 20 kids and we all got scared, but it's me and you now, so we got this. What
that echoed all around them, piercing the still night. Again and again it repeated until, overwhelmed with fear, the duo pegged it back to the safety of the campgrounds and told anyone that would listen. The next day, the camp director held a meeting. It wasn't to tell everyone that demons had been spotted around the camp. Nope. The director wanted to warn everybody not to be alarmed if they heard high-pitched, unnatural-sounding noises from the woods, as they were probably just bobcats. What? Yep, these North American wildcats can make noises that sound downright demonic. Ugh. Yeah, I'd be freaking out too if I heard that in the middle of the woods at night. Though bobcats could technically harm you, attacks are incredibly rare. Cheese and Sadie felt pretty embarrassed about the whole situation, but then again, what if the camp director was wrong? The Phantom Sniffer. Tucson.
What y'all think? Y'all think that the camp director was wrong? You think it was really like a demonic spirit out there? Or, you know what I'm saying? Like y'all think the camp director was right and it was just a bobcat? Because I mean, as far as I know, bobcats, we have a lot of bobcats up here, but as far as I know, bobcats do sound or can sound abnormal. Like, you know, they make noises I don't even think should be allowed to be made by any creature, human or animal. You know, but I mean, obviously, I'm a nobody, but a streamer on YouTube, so.
On Arizona. Reddit user Minus the Leela was camping with some friends in the wilderness outside of the city. One night, he was jolted awake by a strange noise outside the tent. It sounded like sniffing. Petrified, he lay there silently as he could, straining his ears. Could it be a bear? Whatever it was, it seemed to be moving away now to one of his friends' tents. Minus sat up and nudged the two guys he was sharing his tent with, but they were both already wide awake. They'd heard it too. Moments later, the taut silence was broken by a blood-curdling scream. Minus and his friends rushed to unzip their tent and see whatever the heck was happening, and were shocked. One of their friends from the other tent was screaming and waving a gun at some kind of animal. Only, with utter horror, Minus realized it wasn't an animal at all. It was a person. A person had been sniffing their tents. Luckily, Minus's armed pal managed to chase off the creep, and the shaken group immediately started packing up. That's when they realized that whoever it was had been rummaging through their cooler and food storage too. Okay, so maybe it was just some hungry...
What would y'all do? Would y'all do the same thing? Or would y'all came out flashing with the gun and everything? Like, yo, what you doing around here, man? Why you sniffing out my stuff? Like, or would y'all have been like, been hugging each other up inside your tent, talking about something? Oh, this might be our last time we'll seeing each other. Giving y'all hugs and kisses and stuff.
A homeless man? Well, that doesn't explain the sniffing, does it? No, that doesn't explain the sniffing at all. Stench of the beast. One evening back in 1993, a Reddit user going by Chicken Cider was out camping with his dad in Cowlitz County, Washington State. They were sat around the campfire when little Chicken saw something moving amongst the nearby trees. Grabbing a flashlight, he shone it into the branches and was confronted by a pair of glowing red eyes. A cold sweat dripped down his brow. What was he looking at? Or rather, what was looking at him? Suddenly, a few sticks and rocks flew from the tree line towards the fire. Chicken and his dad flinched, but then the eyes disappeared, and the night grew still again. After a tense wait, the duo concluded that whatever it was had gone, and they hit the hay. Big mistake. They were woken with a start. Footsteps were pacing right outside their tent, and a horrendous stench was permeating the air. Chicken's dad bolted upright and began shaking the tent wildly, shouting for the mystery entity to leave. The whole insane ordeal seemed to go on for an age, but eventually the footsteps bolted off and the smell subsided. Neither Chicken Cider nor his father ever found out what was terrorizing their camp that night, though that hasn't stopped people theorizing. One Redditor suggested it could have been a squirrel, but come on, that doesn't explain the footsteps or the stink. All I'm saying is, Washington has the highest number of Sasquatch sightings of any U.S. state, over 700, and the huge hairy cryptid is widely reported to have a terrible odor, as well as easily being big enough to cause some hefty footsteps. Could Chicken and his dad have had a narrow escape from Bigfoot himself? We'll never know for sure, but I can be sure they were glad to be light sleepers that morning. And you'll be glad if you hit those like and subscribe buttons down below. That way you'll never miss out on another spine-tingling video like this one. When you're done, let's press on to more tales of terror. Arachnophobia. If there's one thing that creeps me out more than spooky footage, it's spooky, unexplained footage. This haunting clip seems to have originated on Reddit, though we know absolutely nothing about it. A few friends are camping in an undisclosed location and having a generally good time. Then, one of the group disappears.
I know, for legit though, like, Alexis has been gone for so long trying to actually poop.
Okay, but like, you gotta track to go find a good place.
Yeah, you do, but this has been too long.
They wait for Alexis to return, but after 10 minutes, still nothing. Then...
Oh, ow, man.
Let me enhance that.
Oh, ow, man.
Yeah, that was a distant scream. A few brave members of the group set off into the gloom to find their lost friend, but, well, just watch.
Alexis?
Alexis!
Alexis? Alexis?
What is that?
Can't see it very... Yeah. Wait. Okay, be careful. Oh, God. Okay.
I don't... Guys.
Alexis?
Aiden, stop. No.
Okay.
Bro, did y'all see this? Ooh. Oh. Let me rewind that.
Well, just watch.
Pay attention.
Alexis?
Alexis!
Alexis? Alexis?
What is that?
Can't see it very... Yeah.
Alexis?
Wait. Okay, be careful. Oh, God. Okay.
I don't... Guys.
Alexis?
Aiden, stop. No.
Okay.
What was that? Slowing down the footage, we can see a terrifying humanoid figure with multiple limbs. Whatever it is, it must have hauled Alexis into that weird wooden shelter and then turned on the rest of the group. If anybody has any idea where this footage was taken, let me know down in the comments, and maybe we can get to the bottom of this. I still really hope it's just some student film project. Either way, I'm not sleeping tonight. Ugh.
Whoa. what y'all were gonna. I can't even talk. What would y'all did? Y'all would have ran? Y'all would have just left your friend there? I'm not even gonna lie to you. I don't even know. Like, fam. I don't even know what I would have did. Fam. Dang. Like, bro, I got chills up on me. You know what I mean? I got me getting chills. Like, dang, fam.
A skinwalk in the woods. In 2020, a YouTuber named Leviathan uploaded an unsettling video to the web. He'd been hearing strange noises coming from his barn, so set out to investigate. What the heck was that? If we pause just here, you can see something on top of that structure. Oh, yeah, I'd have run away too. Unlike me, however, Leviathan was brave. Or stupid enough to go looking for whatever it was again. Shortly after the first video, he uploaded this.
I'm not going and looking at... Bro. Whatever that was, unless it was your buddy and you know who it was, I'm not going to look for his people, man. Like, what's wrong with you? Like, why would you go looking for it? Like, dude, now you're going to feel played if it, like, snatch your ass up and, you know, devour you or something, you know what I mean? Bring you back to his family and just, like, they take a piece of you and eat you or something. Like, you know what I mean? Like, why would you chase, like, bro? Like, you wild, man. You wild. Like, dude, you wild.
Jeez. Then he never uploaded again. Naturally, these terrifying vids had commenters going crazy. Some speculated Leviathan had been attacked by a skinwalker. These evil shape-shifting witches originated in Navajo culture, a Native American people of the southwestern United States. As such, many people drew comparisons between Leviathan's experience and this hair-raising image. Once reported on by news outlets as a real skinwalker, I can thankfully say that the infamous photo is actually from a 1982 horror movie called Extro. Whew! Well, that said, I can't say the same for Leviathan's experience. Did he actually encounter a real-life skinwalker? I really hope there's a less disturbing reason, but with his YouTube channel dead, we may never know. Terror in Pokoke. The Pokoke Forest in Maryland, USA is one of the most notoriously haunted places on Earth. From tales of a sinister man with a hook for a hand to sightings of mysterious flying balls of fire, it's somewhere I'm happy to never visit. YouTuber CJ Faisen, however, shares a different view. Back in 2020, he decided to brave an overnight stay and record it for the whole world. So, he headed off deep into the woods and set up camp. After he was done, he set out to explore the surrounding area, but then...
Trying to figure out... Oh.
Someone was out in the woods with him. What were they doing out so late? CJ managed to retreat somewhere he thought was safe, but then things went from bad to worse.
Oh!
Luckily, CJ made it back to his tent. After an incredibly tense wait, it seems he passed out from sheer exhaustion. The camera, however, kept rolling and captured something absolutely spine-chilling.
Bro. What? Bro, did you... This is crazy. What? He like fell. He hurt. Like whatever it was must have been right on him. And he went to run away and fell. Look.
Where he thought was safe, but then things went from bad to worse.
Listen, y'all.
Oh!
That was close. That was really close.
Oh!
Yeah, oh shit.
Oh! Oh!
Luckily, CJ made it back to his tent. After an incredibly tense wait, it seems he passed out from sheer exhaustion. The camera, however...
Look, y'all see that light? Y'all see that light? Bro, how... Man, that's gotta be your friend or something, man. That's gotta be like your buddy or something, man. Or somebody that might have been lost in the woods or something. Like, bro, ain't no way I'm about to be in the woods and I see this thing. Excuse me. I see this light flashing, you know what I mean? Like somebody else with a flashlight. I'm gonna run back to my, I'm gonna run back, hide, cruise, hear these footsteps right and like literally right in front of me, bust out running again and climbing to my, like, first of all, I'm not stopping at my tent. Like, what the hell? I'm not stopping at my tent. How you gonna get in your tent and be like, oh shit? Knowing that this whatever, I think it was just his friend. It was just like a prank video they were doing and stuff and everything, because there's no way this dude literally knowing that this being, whatever it is out there chasing him, is just gonna go in his tent and go to sleep like nothing happened. Fam, come on, man.
kept rolling and captured something absolutely spine-chilling.
He gonna get into bed with you, huh? Whatever it is.
CJ gladly rushed out of there the following morning, but was apparently mortified on watching the footage back. Who was that person with the flashlight?
Duh.
Was it just a hunter or something much, much worse? Or do you think CJ's having us all on? Well, let me know your theories down in the comments.
Yo, what y'all think? I think it was his friend, man. I'm not even gonna cap y'all. I think it was his friend. Because come on, man, there ain't no way you're gonna tell me that you just see this light and it might, and maybe it wasn't his friend. Maybe it was a camper. I mean, a hunter, or another camper. Maybe they were like, I don't know if they were lost. They should have been like, hey, I see you. Can you help me? Something like that. But maybe, I don't know. But I just don't believe that it was somebody. I think it might have been his friend, to be honest with you. Because I'm not going to run back to my tent and just be like, and go right to sleep. Like, bro, what if the dude or whatever was trying to kill you? Hey, you just like, I'm going to go back to my tent and crawl in it and hopefully sleep this away, like, he might not even see my tent or nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, what? No. You gotta get the hell out of there.
The Faceless Man. Back in the early 2000s, a father and his then 13-year-old son were driving to a deer lease in rural Texas. For the sake of the story, I'll call the son James. Apparently, the lease had been overrun with wild hogs, so the twosome were headed down for a week of hunting to help get rid of them. What followed would be one of the most haunting experiences of their lives. They arrived in the early evening and were directed to the dusty old cabin they'd be staying in for the weekend. There was nothing particularly terrible about the sleeping arrangement, but James found it oddly difficult to nod off. It was almost like something was watching him. Regardless, the next morning, father and son set out to begin their hog hunt. At first, everything was as expected. They forced their way through the foliage, following bits of torn-up ground, the telltale signs of their quarry. But as they got deeper into the dense woodland, James's dad suddenly grabbed his arm, stopping him in his tracks. Around 50 yards away was a figure, partially obscured by trees. This was private land. Nobody was supposed to be here aside from them. So who was that? Slowly, the pair crept towards the mysterious person. Luckily, whoever it was.
Now, if you don't know who this is, why are you going to get closer to it? Like, if I don't know who somebody is and I'm looking like, boom, I can see you, you see me, we're like 100 yards away or whatever, 50 yards away, whatever, 50 yards away. And I'm like, let me get closer to you. I don't know what you are, who you are, but let me get close. You know what I mean? Like, and then you got your son with you, man. Like you got your son with you. Like, you gonna bring your son like into harm's way? Wow, that's some good parenting skills right there.
Had their back turned and didn't appear to have seen them. James's dad called out, telling them they needed to leave. No response. Sensing danger, he unclipped his pistol holster and he called out again. Still nothing. So, gesturing for James to stay put, he passed around to the front of the man and jolted bolt upright, utterly confused. "What's wrong?" James asked. His dad beckoned him over, and then James understood. It wasn't a man at all. It was a mannequin. Somebody had dressed it up and left it in this remote location. But why? Something felt very wrong. The mannequin looked pristine, as if it had been erected no longer than a day ago. With a growing sense of dread, James realized he felt like he was being watched again, and this time, he could see his dad felt it too. Wasting no time, they both fled back to the cabin, packed up, and drove straight home. As soon as they got back, James's dad called the landowner and told him about the mannequin, but when he went searching for it, he found nothing. It was gone without a trace. Moo. James is convinced to this day that it had been set up as some kind of trap. If so, what would have happened if they'd stuck around? And who set it up? Yeesh. It doesn't bear thinking about. A fatal snuggle? African safaris can be dangerous as heck, and even experienced guides sometimes run into trouble. Reddit user The Africa Bug is one such guide. While camping out in the African savannah, he awoke one morning with something big and warm pressed against his back. No, Bug wasn't sharing his shelter with a sumo wrestler. He was in there alone, lying against the wall of the tent, so something outside must have been resting against him. And whatever it was huge. Bug's friend was camping out in a tent just a few feet away, and Bug heard him nervously ask if he was awake. Flustered and scared, Bug said he was. Uh-oh. The huge mass behind him suddenly stirred. He'd been too loud. A few tense moments passed. Both Bug and his friend deathly silent. Then, thankfully, whatever it was stood up and slinked off. Whew, and a good job too. It turns out Africa Bug had been cuddling with an adult male lion. Yikes.
Holy crap.
If it had wanted to, the dangerous cat could have diced our boy into a million tiny pieces. By sheer chance, though, it only wanted some warmth.
Yo. Bro cuddling with a whole lion. Bro, that's crazy. Yo, imagine going to sleep in your tent. You and your homie, y'all out there having a good time and stuff and everything. And y'all go to sleep in your tent, right? And you wake up. Bro, you got you feel this thing right behind you. You're like, man, what the hell? You're like, I know ain't nobody supposed to be in the bed with me. Like, what? And you look, ain't nobody there. And then you hear this, the dude, this, man, bro. That's scary.
That night, catastrophe avoided. Behind the tree. Back in 2008, a short, grainy clip was uploaded to video platform Dailymotion. Supposedly filmed in the French commune of Flacy, it shows some kids enjoying a little campout in the woods until they're shocked by something behind a nearby tree.
Pour éclairer.
Y'all see that? Hold on. Let me try to bring that back a little bit.
Camp out in the woods until they're shocked by something behind a nearby tree.
Y'all see that? What is that? What is that? Like, look like it maybe got two eyes right here. 1, 2, maybe a nose. Maybe like the hair. Oh, is it like is it a kid? Is that a kid? Is that a kid?
Pour éclairer.
Oh, it's got hands. Bro, what the is that? Bro, why are you getting close? No.
What was that?
Bro, it
the
disappeared.
uploader, Nils017,
Yo, it just disappeared.
thought it was an alien, titling the video Encounter of the Third Kind in Flacy. It looks more like some kind of demon spawn to me, though. Whatever it was, it seems to have been scared off before it could do anything nefarious. Of course, that's assuming the footage isn't totally phony. Nils017 uploaded several other videos after that one, and they seem to suggest he was an amateur filmmaker. But would an amateur filmmaker have had access to such convincing special effects back in 2008? I'm not so sure. What do you think? Real monster or fake footage? Let me know down
That
below.
looked pretty convincing to me.
Stranger danger. Ghouls and ghosts may be scary, but people are usually the real terrors. Something Reddit user Random Buddha and his girlfriend found out the hard way when they were on a hiking trip in Guatemala. On their second night, the couple set up camp deep in the woods when a colossal thunderstorm rolled in, setting the stage for the unsettling events that were to come. Around 4 a.m., Random awoke with a start. Through the wind and rain, he was sure he heard voices outside. Slowly, he unzipped the tent and stepped out.
That's the mistake you made. Why would you unzip your tent?
And was confronted by two strangers pointing rifles at him. Oh man. Petrified, Random ordered his now wide-awake girlfriend to stay in the tent. But she was too worried about him and came out too. The couple stood facing the ominous gunman, and it looked like it was all
Now both y'all, well, I mean, y'all were finna die anyways, but now both y'all finna really die. This dude's like, hey, baby, stay in the tent. All right, there's two dudes out here with a gun on me. We good. Just stay here. And she's like, okay.
over. But then, the men explained they were just hunters, lost in the woods and seeking shelter. Relieved, Random offered them some coffee, which they gratefully accepted. It wasn't over yet, though. Not 30 seconds later, the storm got so bad that a huge tree crashed down directly onto their tent. Cripes. If Random hadn't left to check the noise, and his girlfriend hadn't ignored his advice, they both would have been completely crushed.
For sure.
Man, the two were shaken to their core, but alive.
What y'all think? Y'all think that was just coincidental? Or y'all think that was the universe sending them hunters their way for that reason? What y'all think? I mean, I don't know. It's kind of scary if you thinking about it. But I mean, now that the whole story was told and we realized that a tree branch fell down onto the tent and stuff, then now to me, it seemed more of like something along the lines the universe gave them a heads up warning. I mean, sometimes it's all right. That was just one scary way of finding out. I mean, not finding out, of being saved from sheer death.
So, in a wild twist, they actually owe their lives to those scary guys. Doesn't mean I recommend befriending armed strangers, though. Macabre masks. Now, these next few haunting tales aren't strictly camping related, but we're far too deep into these spooky woodland tales to leave them out. This clip was uploaded to YouTube by a user named Bloodzack12. While exploring a nearby forest with his friend one frigid night, they stumble across something a little strange. Okay, that probably shouldn't be there. Further along, they
Y'all going on or y'all turning back when you see that mask?
find another mask, this time stuck ominously to a tree. For the same reason, the duo take it with them, which would prove to be a huge mistake.
I'm going back. I'm gone, man. Fam, why y'all...
Holy mother of... It looks like those masks were some kind of trap laid out by whoever that guy was. But before you get too worried about Bloodzack, don't. Despite what many corners of the internet think, I've looked into it and the video isn't actually real. Yep, it's a super scary horror short put together by Zach and his pal. Woo! That said, this next piece of footage certainly is real. Over in New Zealand in 2015, a group of film students were working on a short skit when they noticed two masked strangers in the distance. The students carried on filming, but the strangers wouldn't leave. In fact, they started coming closer. Then, they realized the masked figures were armed. Okay, it was time to panic. The young filmmakers called the cops, and thankfully they were quick to show up. However, despite a lengthy search, the mysterious masked menaces evaded detection. Who were they? What did they want? Well, in a twist of fate, they came forward and turned themselves in. Turns out the whole thing was just one very stupid prank. The guns were plastic, and the masks were from a Halloween store. Jeez. The police let them off without charging them, but I'm sure the image of them watching from the woods still gives those students nightmares today.
Oh, I'm sure it does.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna have to leave it there so that there's a chance I get any sleep tonight. Which of those encounters left you? Rideable robots, cyborg insects, and machines that recreate the inner workings of stars. What do these have in common? They all exist, and they're about to take over the world. It turns out the most imaginative innovators of our time have some mind-boggling plans for the future of planet Earth, and they're already
A conspiracy theorist is defined as someone who is incredibly based and also very, very smart At least that's how they would define themselves. But in reality, most of them are f***ing morons. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying every conspiracy theory is ridiculous. I mean, Kennedy definitely got whacked by the CIA. I think we can all agree on that one. But they start to lose me with schizo stuff like this.
Now, if we think about it, our moon could be fake and not an original sustainer of our Earth. I mean, Mercury and Venus don't have moons. So could the moon just be a high technological place where they do secret galactic things?
Now, the way I see it, there are 4 levels of schizos on the internet. Level 1 is your basic ground level conspiracy theorists. They believe in stuff like the moon landing is fake, Bush did 9/11, the female orgasm is real, stuff like that. Your level 2 schizos are your QAnon types. They are very, very distrustful of the government to an unhealthy level. Then you got your level 3s. Not only are they distrustful of the government, but also of reality itself. This is like your flat earth types or your hollow earth types or your cube earth? That's new. Now, a level 4 schizo is someone who is so enlightened, so open-minded that it almost seems like they're suffering from a mental disability. But the reality is they're just on a different mental wavelength than us sheep. In this video, we're going to be discussing conspiracy theories that I found on TikTok, and all of them are going to be in that level 3 and 4 range, so buckle up.
Buckle up.
This is gonna sound crazy, but just hear me out. Outback Steakhouse is a part of some satanic cult. Here's the tea and evidence. So there are multiple Outback Steakhouse locations where if you connect all of them like connected dots, they make a pentagram. I'm talking Indiana, New York, Idaho, and so much more. What is going on?
That would explain the absolutely demonic shits I take every single time I eat there.
We have all been programmed to believe that there is no land at the North Pole. Just a bunch of ice sheets, nothing to see here. What if I told you that this is far from the truth? Not only is the North Pole home to the most exceedingly high mountain in the world, Mount Zion, the mountain of God, which is spoken about all throughout the Bible, it is also home to paradise, the Garden of Eden, which is still here to this day.
This one can very easily be proven if you just went to the North Pole, okay? It's not that hard. Just go to Alaska, get on a boat, and go north.
This is one of the first ever maps created of the North Pole in the 1500s. That mountain in the middle, it is called the Rupus Nigra. It's straight from Wikipedia. Rupus Nigra.
Okay, bro, I'm pretty sure you're not allowed to say that.
Rupus Nigra is a black rock.
Okay, I am now convinced that the only reason he made this video was to have an excuse to say the N-word.
Not to mention Rupus Nigra.
Did you know? So apparently the English language is full of spells that we cast upon ourselves. Think about it. We awake in the morning. What is awake? Pretty sure that's a funeral. So we awake in the morning. Oh, like mourning the death of something? And then we go to work all week. You know, like week. So we work on the weekdays, like weekdays, in a state of stunned confusion. So you know we work all week until the weekend when we're, you know, weekend. And the reason we even go to work is to earn a living, you know, earn a living, like put our living in an urn. Sounds like we're getting the weekend of the deal. See, weekend. Let's not mention the fact that they literally call it spelling and we learn to write in cursive. Well, we used to. Let's break down the word child. Child, like chai as in chi, like a vital life force. Old, so like a vital life force getting old. How about parents? You know, pair who rents the child. Don't even get me started on what words used to mean and what they mean now. Like the word nice, in Latin, it literally means ignorant. There's so many double meanings to so many words. It's crazy. This rabbit hole is deep, y'all.
Did bro just discover words or something? What's going on here? You know, when I first saw this, I was like, there's no fucking way this guy's serious. He's either a nitrous oxide addict or he's trolling right now. But I started browsing some of his other videos and no, he is not trolling. This man is 100% serious. Like, his third eye is so open that it's giving him brain damage. And then I started looking at the comments thinking that everybody's going to be shitting on him, but no, this man has convinced a lot of people that the English language is black magic.
Whenever it's a full moon,
English
people
language is
become
black
crazy. They have
magic.
said this for centuries. It was only the scientists that caught up
maybe it
about
did,
50 to 75 years ago that figured out the human body is 70% water, and the moon pulls on us too, just like it pulls on the tides. So people become crazy under full moons. That's why they call it lunatics.
This actually explains a lot, because once a month I wake up naked in a man's bed with no recollection of how I got there. So it's the full moon making me gay. All right, I'm not actually gay. It's just the moon messing with my brain chemistry.
You can't tell me giants and giant things didn't exist. Look at the grains on top of that tree stump. That's classed as a mountain. Oh, you know, nothing to see here, just a giant person asleep on top of a mountain. Almost reminds me of, you know, Moana. And maybe just this elephant head on a mountain. Wow. Yeah, nothing to see here. It's only a human face on the side of a mountain. No, they're not toes. That's not a man between some giant toes. Surely not. No.
I feel like this is a symptom of what happens when you literally never go outside. Like, if this man just stepped out of his gamer dungeon for 5 minutes, he would immediately notice that some things just look like other things. I just realized that photo kind of looks like my room right now. Guess it's true what they say, people in stone houses shouldn't throw glass. But my point still stands, okay? If you go outside, you'll notice that things just resemble other things, okay? Take this rock formation, for example. Just because it looks like a giant schlong does not mean that it was a giant's schlong, okay?
Yeah,
and if it was,
like a schlong.
good for him. But you know what? He is British, and they think that this is good food, so it's not that big of a surprise that he believes this stuff. But unfortunately, I did some digging, and you know, this is more of a widespread belief than I thought.
So tell me, do you believe, was Disney trying to tell us something? Some things are just an optical illusion, right? Well, is this an optical illusion? Look at that and tell me you don't know what that is. Go ahead and tell me that confidently.
Bro, that shit looks like a crocodile, yo. I'm not gonna lie. Like a gigantic, prehistoric crocodile. So, y'all ever wonder what happened to all these? If it's real? Like, I don't know. I'm just saying, like, y'all ever wonder?
And mean it, because you know darn well what that is. You can see it. No, that's not a carving. That's a petrified animal from the days of old. There's plenty of statues on this earth that are thousands of years old. Now, what if they were petrified beings?
Now, I know what you guys are thinking. These guys are insane. They're probably high on PCP, and they probably smell like ass. All of these things are true, but they might be onto something. This conspiracy goes a lot deeper than you'd think. In fact, one person might have been killed for trying to expose it. On April 9th, 2022, Andrew Dawson posted a video of what appeared to be a giant standing on top of a mountain in Canada.
It's a person, dude. No, seriously, pull over, pull over.
No.
It's a person standing there.
No, it's not.
Bruh, does that look like a person to y'all right there? Does that look like a person to y'all? I'm not gonna lie to y'all. It kind of does look like it kind of does look like something. I'm not sure if it was a person. They say it was a giant. Apparently this guy caught pictures of this giant and stuff, and was just like, yo, put it all over his Instagram page, and you know, it's just like everywhere and stuff. And apparently, I guess the CIA or the Men in Black killed him.
Dude,
or he might have just quit doing YouTube, because I mean, once you've accumulated like, I don't know, 500 million viewers, something like that. I mean, I don't know how well YouTube pays, but I mean, I'm just saying, you know.
Dude, if you seen what I seen right now,
The video went
But that does look
insanely
like a
viral,
giant
getting
up there,
17 million
Well, I
views.
mean, not a giant, but
and
a
I guess
person up
Andrew just couldn't resist the dopamine hit, so he decided to go back to the mountain multiple times to try to get a less shitty video of the creature. But he was starting to bring a lot of unwanted attention. Some people didn't want him recording anymore.
I just got stopped by like some CIA agent. He told me to turn around, said I'm trespassing. I said it's a public area, like a public park or whatever. Some local told me to take this path. I didn't get it on camera, but I'm gonna go again tomorrow and be prepared to be filming right now because he stopped the vehicle. His truck was blocking it. Said some like environmental issue was going on. I don't know. He told me to go back and said I was trespassing.
The CIA didn't want Andrew snooping around there anymore for some reason. Even though this was Canada.
Are y'all going back? Like, keep it real. If the Men in Black came and told you, if you go back up there and film or take any type of pictures of anything up there again, we're gonna off you. Are y'all going back up there? I think I might try to take the chance. I mean, they didn't say you couldn't walk. I mean, they didn't say you couldn't fly your drone over it. I mean, I would have got a hotel room close enough and flew my drone over. You know what I mean? Oh, shit.
I didn't get it on camera, but I'm gonna go again tomorrow and be prepared to be filming right now because he stopped the vehicle. His truck was blocking it. Said some like environmental issue was going on. I don't know. He told me to go back and said I was trespassing.
The CIA didn't want Andrew snooping around there anymore for some reason. Even though this was Canada,
out of there, boy.
so why would the CIA even be?
man.
You know what? Don't think about it too hard. Andrew wasn't about to let the CIA get in the way of his quest
So
for
you
the
ain't about to
truth.
punk me out,
So
fool.
he told that agent to go fuck himself, and he kept going back to the mountain.
The guy's here again.
He's like, right up you. Oh,
Yeah,
they
this
wait.
This is him.
They wait. Yo.
What's going on?
Road's closed. Turn around.
Really?
Yeah, man. Just turn around, please.
Okay. Have a good night, man.
So that was fucked up.
A few days after that incident, Andrew posted this video on April 16th.
I think that's the same vehicle from. Hey!
And he went radio silent after this post. Everybody assumed that the CIA whacked him. 3 weeks later, on May 6th, he finally posted an update.
Sorry to disappoint you guys, but all the videos that I posted were scripted. They're just fake. They were just strictly for entertainment.
Now, this, of course...
How many of y'all believe that one, though? How many of y'all believe that? Y'all believe that that was just all scripted and fake, or do y'all believe that maybe the CIA or the MIB got to him?
First made people really suspicious. Bro was acting weird as hell, and it was almost like there was someone behind that camera holding a gun. After that, he disappeared again for 10 days, until he posted this video.
You might not see me post ever again. My videos weren't fake.
Clearly something was up, and Andrew was terrified that he was gonna get whacked. But that still wasn't enough to stop his quest for the truth, because the next day, he went back to the mountain.
What is that? Y'all see that? Y'all see that right there? What is that? Like, what? What? I don't even know what that is.
What is that?
That wasn't there the last time when he showed us the first time? That wasn't there. No, that wasn't there the first time. I don't remember it being there the first time. That's new. They built a whole base up there, y'all. bro found out about the giant, bro. They built a whole base up there, y'all. A whole base.
This was the last video Andrew Dawson would ever post. Now guys, there's a very real chance that our boy Andrew staged this whole thing. I'd say about a 97% chance. But I'm really holding out for that 3% that he was tortured and killed in a CIA black site. Because that would be cool.
Can we expose the real reason why dinosaurs are not here today? I'm not taking any chances. So they said white dinosaurs are extinct because an asteroid hit the Earth. Well, my theory is that they were killed by the aliens. So these asteroids just hit directly all over the planet, killing all of the dinosaurs. It gotta be something else for me. You're telling me these asteroids hit all of the dinosaurs and they're all just went extinct? Well, I say them asteroids were actually missiles.
You put me in an empty room with nothing but a bucket of meth. For 10 years, I could not come up with something this stupid.
Marvel movie. They were supposed to upgrade humanity's consciousness to a very high vibration and destroy the planet. Same thing in Prometheus. Now, there has been talk about dinosaurs being on the center of the Earth also. You know, Hollow Earth theory, where China found an underground forest. If you've ever watched the movie Journey to the Center of the Earth, they went there and they saw dinosaurs. They already showed us in the movie Jurassic World how it is living with dinosaurs.
How much of this y'all believe? I mean, you got to do your own investigation onto this, but how much do y'all really believe this? Like, I mean, I know some of this stuff might seem super far-fetched, and a lot of it might not seem far-fetched at all. But, I mean, there's got to be like a fine line between what we believe and what is being told to us. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. For me, I don't believe everything, but I do believe some of the things, you know?
We wouldn't be able to survive, so they had to get off the planet.
One thing that these conspiracy theorists do all the time that I think is hilarious is they will cite a fictional movie as if it's a real historical event.
So did this Anunnaki group, or aliens, whatever you want to call them, missiled off the dinosaurs for the evolvement of humans? It's just kind of hard to believe the destruction of dinosaurs came from asteroids.
She says it's hard to believe that the destruction of the dinosaurs came from an asteroid. It's hard to believe, she says, but aliens shooting them with missiles, that makes perfect sense.
The sharing of biased and
false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media without checking facts first. Unfortunately, some members of the
Okay, well, that was creepy as hell.
Hey, have y'all seen that one? Have y'all seen that TikTok video where the person puts together all the video, the news video castings and stuff, and puts them all together to show how they pretty much just sound alike? They're telling us the same shit. I mean, you know, to an extent it is kind of believable, because every time I turn, that's why I stopped watching the news, because every time I turn the news on, it's just always something about, you know, war and poverty, and this person got killed and that person got killed, and this is about a race war and that's about a race war, and you know, it's just after a while you get tired of hearing that crap. You know what I mean? And everything, you know. And to the ones that are enlightened, you know, you understand that that is also the way that the government controls us, is through fear. They instill fear amongst us, and you know, when you instill fear amongst a bunch of people, you tend to get them to act right. You know what I mean? I mean, that's just how the government rolls. You know, because I mean, there's what, like, I don't know, 7 billion of us on this planet, 7.5 billion. You know what I mean? Hold on. Here we go. Oh, so we're up to 8.1 billion people living on the world. 1.8 billion people living in the world right here, right now. What? So, imagine, just think of how the government's having to control us. You know what I mean? They got to use fear. Trust me, I know.
You know, after watching that, it's easy to see why people are so distrustful of the media.
Yep.
I mean, no wonder there's so many conspiracy theorists these days.
Yep.
It's almost impossible to get the full, unbiased story in the news.
Yep.
Or at least, that's what I thought until I found out about the sponsor of today's video, Ground News. Ground News makes it easy to compare articles from different media outlets and to see multiple perspectives on the same topic. I mean, we are literally having congressional hearings about UFOs and aliens and shit. So let me show you what it's like to read a story like that on Ground News. Up top, there's a quick summary of the issue, and I can see that there's over 100 sources reporting on it, so it's probably pretty legit. If I scroll down, I can compare headlines and read full articles from different sources. Further down, I get the full bias distribution for the story, which is pretty even. Turns out everybody cares about alien invasions. It's like the one thing that brings our country together. But they do have a blind spot feed that shows you which breaking news stories have the most bias. These are stories that only one side of the political spectrum is covering. Stories you might miss if you're stuck in a bubble. I gotta say, Ground News is pretty based, and I think they're more important now than ever when everybody's so divided. So check them out at ground.news/Dantavius and get a free trial using my link. Thank you, Ground News, for sponsoring this video.
Don't worry, y'all. I don't have any sponsors for YouTube yet. I do for Twitch, but not for YouTube yet.
Have you ever thought about why an iPhone has its name? When Apple says I, it literally means I. iPhones are watching us, listening to us, and seeing everything we're doing. And some people have this link to the Illuminati. Don't believe me? What's Siri spelled backwards?
Okay, bro, what the fuck you want me to do? Use an Android? Not gonna happen. You guys remember the Roman Empire? You know, it was pretty famous. They even had a TV show based on it. Well, one woman on TikTok claims that the Roman Empire never existed.
It always blows my mind talking to people who have invested their lives in the study of ancient Rome, because y'all don't seem to realize it didn't exist. It is a figment of the Spanish Inquisition's imagination.
Now, my first thought upon hearing this was like, of course Rome exists. The city of Rome is still there to this day. How do you explain that?
The city of Rome was created by the Vatican.
Just sometimes, just the shit sometimes people say.
After the Great Western Schism, it was cow fields until the 1500s.
Okay, well, what about the Colosseum or Trajan's Column? I'm sure they carbon dated that shit, and it's way older than 500 years.
What about places like the Colosseum or Trajan's Column or Roman inscriptions written on things? You cannot radiocarbon date stone. Trajan's Column matches another column from Greece, indicating that it was dragged there. The thing on top of it is a statue of the Pope, added much later.
Okay, but didn't the ancient Chinese mention the Roman Empire? There's proof right there.
What about ancient Chinese mentions of the Great Roman Empire? Those don't exist.
God damn, bro, she has an answer for everything. Now, I'm no historian. Well, actually, I am a historian because I have a history degree from DeVry. So as a historian, I say this woman is full of shit, in my professional opinion.
And talk. Oh, here we go with this one, y'all. You know, this is like one of the biggest topics of all conspiracy theories is Antarctica. You know, like that's like one of the biggest main topics there is out there is about Antarctica. Like, everybody wants to know about Antarctica, and the fact that you can't even travel to Antarctica without having to have some secret like pass to get to get there makes it even more, you know, eerie. You know, because like you can't just get on a cruise and be like, I'm going to Antarctica. And, well, I mean, you could go to some parts, just you can't go to the parts we all want to go to. Like, you know, like the ice wall. You know, like, yeah, we ain't getting to no ice wall on no cruise. Mm-mm. Let me know how that works out for you. Go ahead, try it. See ya. Go ahead. Get on that cruise, go to that ice wall. Let me see you get there. Because I want to see some pictures. You'd be lucky if you even got cell service when you get there. You know what I mean? Like, shoot, it's gonna be so cold. You ain't even gonna want to get up out you're gonna be wrapped up and everything. Like, you ain't gonna be feeling like getting all unwrapped and stuff to go out there. Man, look, I'm telling you. Look, but I know we all want to know what's over there, or at least what's there.
Antarctica is sketchy. Yeah, every single country has signed a treaty that you can't do anything in Antarctica.
See?
No one can go to certain areas in Antarctica,
See?
and no one can own Antarctica.
See?
Hitler at one point went to Antarctica with like 40-something virgin women. Isn't that bizarre? He has a documented voyage to Antarctica with like 40 virgin women.
I swear you can say whatever the hell you want as long as you pretend to be on a podcast and put creepy music in the background, people will believe you.
There's this theory that Russian scientists found a hyper-intelligent sea monster in Antarctica called Organism 46b. In Antarctica, there's layers to the ice, so it goes very, very deep. These Russian scientists drilled for 30 years through the ice, and then they finally breached into a lake. 3 of these scientists, they go down to explore the lake, and they're attacked and killed by a massive octopus-like creature. The next day, the remaining scientists had gone out again to look for the...
Bro, that drawing of that octopus looked like an oversized, sick tree stump that had like a whole squirrel city growing inside of it.
this creature, and they had managed to get it into a cage and trap the creature. And when they had come back up from the bottom of the ice, they just told the media that they saw nothing. But the story is that this thing is now back in Russia, and they're using it in the military.
Now, another common thing I've noticed on TikTok is that if 2 people look slightly similar, that can't just be a coincidence. There has to be something more going on.
Is the answer to one of the most brutal, unsolved murders of all time Katy Perry? Is she actually murdered child pageant star JonBenet Ramsey? JonBenet, who happens to look a lot like Katy Perry, was never murdered, and it was all a lie. JonBenet's parents faked her death and the ransom note because they wanted to get her away from the child pageant scene, because she already had a few known creepy men fixating on her, P-words, and people trying to take advantage of her, and wanted to use her talent and star quality when she was older. Even their parents look eerily similar if they just got older and aged a bit. How does this photo look like both of them at the same time?
That's not even the only Katy Perry clone theory.
That's Zoe Deschanel. That's Katy Perry. They do look too similar to me, and maybe that's just my conspiracy mind. I'm calling it clones.
Oh, come on, not this guy again. This guy's like my son. The more I try to get away from him, the more he shows up. I'm just gonna play another video on the same topic because I'm tired of seeing the schlemiel.
So automatically they look so similar. People thought they were sisters. Is it because one of them is a clone? Well, I was just wondering.
Bro.
What about their mom, you know? So I decided to look into...
Bro, not everybody is a clone, okay? Not everybody is. There's some of y'all out there are twins. There's just because just remember, the twin thing didn't just all of a sudden go away. Okay, it's still there. So all y'all dumbass conspiracy theorists out there that thinks that every single person that looks the same or alike is a clone, please stop it. You know, please just stop, because that's not cool. That ain't cool. That's not cool. That ain't cool. Like, please knock that stuff off.
to both of their mothers. When you look at pictures of their mothers pregnant with them, you'll find none.
You know, I've seen this point brought up a lot in conspiracy circles. I think it's a really dumb point, okay? Like, there are no pictures of my mom pregnant with me either. That doesn't mean I'm a clone, right? I'm not a clone. There's no way I'm a clone. Who the hell are you?
Me? I'm your clone. You've been exposing too many secrets, Danny, so the higher-ups sent me to whack you and take your place.
It's ridiculous. You're not gonna kill... Sorry about that, guys. Now, what were we talking about? Oh yeah, clones.
What do all of these celebrities have in common? Well, people everywhere believe that these are all clones. So let's talk about it. It starts with viral clips of these so-called malfunctions, such as Katy Perry's eye twitching or Eminem being non-responsive while being interviewed. And there's countless videos of many other celebrities
That's just
having
called being
similar
on too many
experiences
drugs.
all over the internet, leading many to believe that they were indeed cloned. With the most recent example being not of an exact malfunction, but rather of Kanye West now being taller than ever before.
Those are just a few of the many celebrities who have supposedly been cloned.
Face?
I'm going to talk about a few of the more famous cases, and stick around because this whole cloning rabbit hole goes very deep.
Look like
we're going to get to like the bottom layer of the schizo iceberg on this one. Let's start with Kanye West. On October 8th, 2022, Kanye, or Ye as he's known now, tweeted, "I'm a bit sleepy tonight. When I wake up, I'm going DEFCON 3 on Jewish people." The funny thing is, I actually can't be anti-Semitic because black people are actually Jew. A month later, Ye officially began his campaign for President of the United States. He quickly got together a team of the best gay neo-Nazis in the country and started doing a bunch of interviews where he was saying some interesting things.
What schools are doing is exactly what the CIA does with Pixar films and Disney films. They make Bambi's mom die in the beginning, right? And off that pain comes a purchase of ice cream.
With each interview, Ye kept getting more and more unhinged, and this reached a climax when he went on Alex Jones's show.
That's right, you're not Hitler, you're not a Nazi, you don't deserve to be called that and demonized.
Well, I see good things about Hitler also.
It seemed like this was gonna go on for a while, but this would actually be the last interview Ye ever did up to this point. You see, one night Ye was sitting on his couch flipping through the channels when he came across the movie 21 Jump Street, and at some point during the film, Ye realized he liked Jewish people again.
Watching Jonah Hill in 21 Jump Street made me like Jewish people again.
Yo, imagine you were watching your favorite movie, and all of a sudden you were like, "Oh, I like these people now. I'm a big fan of Jews." Like, he's like, "I'm gonna watch some 21 Jump Street, and now I'm a big ass fan of Jewish people now. I was just talking trash about them."
No one should take anger against one or two individuals and transform that into hatred towards millions of innocent people. No Christian can be labeled anti-Semite knowing Jesus is Jew. Thank you, Jonah Hill. I love you.
A lot of people thought this sudden change of heart was suspicious. And to make matters even weirder, after this post, Ye went missing. No interviews, no social media, no paparazzi, nothing.
That's what happens.
This was getting scary. Ye said himself just a few weeks before his disappearance.
If I ever went anywhere, we know why. You understand what I'm saying? So.
Rumors were swirling that Kanye was assassinated. But then all of a sudden, he was spotted out in public with some mystery woman. But this wasn't enough to convince everyone that Ye was actually alive.
Has Kanye West been cloned? People have taken to social media with height comparisons of Kanye and various celebrities before and after the supposed cloning took place. West's height is 5'8", and here he is with his former wife, Kim Kardashian, who is 5'2". West's new wife, Bianca Censori, is purportedly only 1 inch shorter than him at 5'7", but there are multiple photographs showing Censori who looks much shorter than West wearing heels, even while he's more or less barefoot.
Bro really married the first Kim Kardashian lookalike he could get his hands on. But what if she's not just a lookalike? What if she's also a clone?
Kanye's new wife is a clone of a clone. Kim Kardashian didn't survive the 2009 robbery, and she was cloned. Bianca Censori. Kanye's new wife is just a clone of Kim Kardashian. You heard right. She is just a clone of Kim Kardashian, but not just a clone of Kim. They Rick Morty this crap. They made her a clone of a clone.
Now, guys, this goes a lot deeper, okay? We're just at the tip of the iceberg right now, so stick around. These theories about celebrities getting replaced with clones actually goes back way further than you'd think. Back to 1969, when everybody thought Paul McCartney died and was replaced with a lookalike.
There was even one report that McCartney was killed 3 years ago in an auto accident and a double put in his place.
Just because he wasn't wearing any shoes on this album cover. No, I'm not joking, but hey, it was the 60s. Everybody was high on LSD, so what can you do? Fast forward to 2011. You guys remember Avril Lavigne? I don't, because most of my long-term memory was wiped out after I overdosed on nitrous oxide in 2019. But apparently she was a very popular singer in the early 2000s. Her debut album, Let Go, sold 16 million copies and was nominated for 2 Grammys. But unfortunately, she passed away shortly after the album's release. Now, you're probably saying to yourself, Danny, you schmuck, Avril Lavigne released several albums after that one. Well, that's where you're wrong, because most of those albums weren't made by Avril. They were made by Avril's body double, Melissa. You see, after the surprise success of her debut album, Avril was having a hard time adjusting to fame, and eventually it got to be too much and she hanged herself. Her parents were devastated by the loss of their daughter, and her record company was devastated by the loss of millions of dollars. So the record company execs convinced Avril's parents to keep her death on the down low, at least until her next album came out, since it was already fully recorded at that point. So they came up with the brilliant idea to replace Avril with a body double.
The real Avril Lavigne died in September 2003 by unaliving herself. Because she was depressed, anxious, she couldn't handle being the most famous person in the world at her age, and her grandfather just died, who was her everything. But after she died, her label wanted to capitalize off of the massive career she was building, so they replaced her with an actress who looks just like her, Melissa Vandella. She was dressing different, her nose looks very different. The inner corner of her eye used to have a round slope, and now it doesn't. The moles and freckles in her arms are now in different positions. Her height on Google changed suddenly. Her handwriting was different. This eerie photo of Avril posing with the word Melissa on her hand as if she's sending a message. The way Avril sounds and sings were completely different.
Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door.
The reason I bring this up is because the Avril Lavigne thing sparked a whole new genre of conspiracy theories that basically every celebrity on the planet that you can think of has been cloned at one point or another. Will Smith, Britney Spears, Eminem, even Kevin Hart, bro. They got Kevin Hart.
Yo, how do you do it? I have a clone. I was gonna say that. There's 2 of you. Cat's out the bag. Okay? It's about a good 3 of me.
Oh, and it's not just celebrities that are being cloned, okay? It's also world leaders like Kim Jong-un and even Joe Biden. But guys, it gets even more insane than that. There's this guy by the name of Donald Marshall. He claims that the secret shadow government that runs the world has been running underground cloning facilities since the 50s, where they have clones of pretty much every famous.
You know what? We're going to cut it off right here. We'll get back to this again, if not tomorrow, back here next week on Friday. Thank y'all for y'all support. We'll see y'all here next week on Friday.